Hey there, welcome to Chem Eng Weekly. In this video, we will briefly outline the UCAS application process, which is the university application process within the UK. Whether you're a student applicant or somebody who's just curious, it's always good to pick up this information. This video will only be a very brief overview, and future videos will be more university and section specific. So let's get into it. The first part of the UCAS application process is make an account. So if you go to ucas.com and you go to the apply section, you can register to make an account. All you will need is just email and some other basic details that you can provide straight away. Once you've registered, it will give you a username, a password and an ID, and this ID number will be specific to you, so make sure you keep these details handy. If your application is going off via school, then your school will give you a buzzword. If you don't have the buzzword, you should contact your administrator and they will be able to provide it for you. All the buzzword does is just links your school as an institution where you get your education to your application to university. There are 6 key sections: your personal statement, your personal details, your references, your choices, your employment history and your education. There are also the additional sections of view all details, pay and send and options, which we will all be covering in this video. You can fill out the sections in any order you want, but it's more preferable if you fill out employment history, personal details and your education history out first, as these are the more easier ones to do. And as we will discover later, some sections will take longer and be more tedious to fill out. The personal details section is pretty much straightforward. You just have to fill out your name, your date of birth and some other basic information about you. But make sure you're not complacent, because spelling mistakes and other incorrect information can reflect badly on your university administrative team. The employment section will cover if you've had any part-time or full-time jobs during any part of your career, and it's fine to leave that section blank. Don't worry, it won't reflect negatively on you. Do make sure you tick the complete box after you've filled out every single section, because this will ensure that it's been put into the application. The education section will require any qualifications which you have achieved to be put on there. So this might include AS levels, your GCSEs, and any other qualifications that you might have done. It's always good to have the exam certificates handy because you may need to fill in the grade you achieved, the course in which you achieved it, the exam board, and a couple of other details that can be found in the exam certificate. And you'd also be asked to input any predicted grades. It's critical that these are correct. The next section is choices. In total, you can apply to 5 different universities, and they can be all the same or different courses, as well as multiple courses at the same university. They can be changed at any time until you pay and send your application off, at which point they can't be changed unless they are returned. So it's important you take time to consider these. Make sure you do some research on the UCAS course website first, so you know what the course requirements are, what the length of the degrees are, and any other things and information that you might need to know about the course. This is because each course and the subcategories within the courses have different codes that you need when you are applying to university. So you have to make sure that you know what these are beforehand so you don't get any confusion later on. It's very important to check that the university you're applying to does actually offer your course. There are different combination courses available, so make sure you check out on the UCAS website which ones appeal to you. You should note that at this point in the application process, you cannot rank which of the choices you will prefer most and least, as the UCAS portal will only rank them alphabetically. The next section is the personal statement, and although you can do this before you actually pick your universities, it's more advisable if you do it afterwards, just so you know what they look for in a candidate. The personal statement is a sort of mini essay where you kind of outline why you think you're the perfect candidate to study that course at that university. And given how it's generic because it's being sent off to all 5 universities, it is better if it's for a similar course because that will be the best way for the universities to see that you're a good candidate for that course. You will not get your personal statement right the first time, so it's more advisable if you do this in a Word document and make a couple of drafts until you're happy with it. All the requirements for the personal statement can be found on the UCAS website. The next section is a reference. This is written by somebody who works at your education institution, and it's normally just to confirm all the details you have entered is correct and as a support for your personal statement. Alternatively, if you prefer, you can choose for somebody else to be your referee. You just have to talk with your educational institution first to see if they will allow it. Applicants are allowed to check with their referee before they publish their reference what they have written in it, so I'd recommend you check that out. After you have filled in all 6 sections and marked them as complete, you should go to view all details to see a summative view of your application. This will allow you to see which parts you are not happy with and go back and make changes before you proceed any further. The next section within this is the pay and send section, which will formally send off your application. Once you're happy with all the sections within your application, hit pay and send, and there's a small admin fee based on the number of university choices that you've put in that will be paid. It is important to check that all the information you've entered is correct, because after you hit pay and send, it will be sent to your head of UCAS, who will verify all your details, often in a meeting alongside yourself, verifying things like grades, your date of birth and other things. If there's anything that's incorrect, they'll have to send it back to you, at which point you'd have to amend it and send it back, and that process can get a bit tedious, so it's better if you check it yourself first. After the checks are complete, your head of UCAS or your nominated referee will send off your application process, and from there on no further changes can be made. It is important and crucial that you send off your application before the deadline. The typical deadline for all university courses is around January the 15th. However, if you're studying medicine, veterinary medicine, dentistry, or applying to Oxbridge, you'd have to meet this deadline on October the 15th instead. This is because the universities prefer for that to be met at that date. You can send your application off after these, but the university is under no obligation at all to consider your application. So therefore, it's better to be on the safe side and send it off earlier. It is also important to note that these dates are subject to change, such as in the 2020 to 2021 year, where the UCAS final deadline, January the 15th, was extended by 2 weeks because of the COVID outbreak. Just keep an eye on the UCAS website and any other updates. You typically apply in the academic year prior to the one you're applying for. So if you're applying to study from September 2024, you'd be eligible to start applying from September 2023. Most students are in year 13 when they apply, but that does not mean it's restricted to only that year group. So what happens next? Well, UCAS will check your application for any plagiarism and flag that up to you. You'll be able to see that on the portal, and then it will check for any other details that do not seem correct at all, like if there are numbers instead of letters in a certain place, and it will notify you on the portal. After that, it will be pinged off to all of your chosen 5 university choices. They'll review it independently, not knowing where else you have applied or to what courses. The application will be read by the admissions team, as well as some specialists who will consider all parts of your application, such as if you have any disabilities, any special requirements, and anything else, before making a decision. There will be a lot of waiting, but you will get an email from the universities after you've applied confirming receipt of your application. From here, you can access your application using UCAS Track, where you can view your details, check what offers you've received, and any other information you may need at this point. Every time UCAS Track updates, either with an offer or any other information that you may need, you'll get an email pinged directly into your inbox. From here on, 3 of the following will happen. You either get updated with a thumbs up, a tentative reply, or a cross. A thumbs up means you've got an unconditional offer, which means you've got a place at university regardless of any grades or anything, and you can accept them or reject them after you've heard back from all 5 of your university choices. A cross means you've been unsuccessful in your application, either due to not meeting the requirements within your application itself, or just the course being extra competitive. A tentative reply means you've got a conditional offer, which means you may get a place at university provided you meet some conditions, such as attending an interview, doing an application test, or perhaps dependent on some grades or UCAS points. If you get a cross, don't worry about it, because you've got 5 applications, so you've got 4 others that you still might get good news from. Sometimes the university may send you a direct email rather than doing it through Track, such as if you've got an interview or an entrance exam you need to sit, so keep an eye on your emails during this period as well. After receiving all 5 choices, you have to select a firm and insurance option. The firm option is the option university course that you would like to go to, provided you get the grades, or if it's an unconditional one, the one you're definitely going to. If you pick an unconditional as your choice, you do not have to fill in insurance. However, if you choose a conditional offer as your firm, then your insurance choice would also have to be something where you have to meet some conditions, such as lower grades or lower UCAS point total. This is to ensure that you still have the chance of going to university in the odd chance that you don't meet your grade requirements. Once you select your firm and your insurance, you will have to reject all your other offers, and that is just part of the process. It means that these offers can be opened up to other people and any other late applicants if you're part of the early applicant cycle. Once you pick your firm and your insurance, you only have 2 weeks to change them over, and if you want to change them over, you have to go directly to the universities via an email, and they will change it over on their end before it updates on portal. After you have submitted your choices, it's a waiting game from the final day of the application process to results day and any exams you may have to sit in between. In the meantime, it's sometimes a good idea to apply for student finance, all details of which can be found on the government website. Once you get your results, you can move into the final section of the UCAS process, confirming your place. In the lead up to results day, Track will be unavailable, whether that be for a couple of hours or a couple of days prior to the exam results being released. and this is because UCAS Track will be updating with these exam results. Not all universities get them at the same time due to the large quantity and volume of the exam results, so even on the day of results, the track may not update until later. You cannot see your results itself on Track because that would have to be taken directly from your educational institution, although if you've got your offers, you have a pretty good idea of what you've got. If you have met the conditions of your firm's offer, your insurance will be automatically rejected, and the firm university will be in contact shortly via email within a couple of hours to let you know that they have guaranteed you a place and you have to confirm that you are attending. The same goes for the insurance choice, although it will come up that your application to your firm choice has been unsuccessful. If you miss your offer conditions either at your firm or your insurance, you can go for something called clearing, which is a system where all the vacant positions at other universities from other students, either at the same course or a different course, come up. You can use the clearing tool after you've entered for clearing and your clearing code to check with universities if they're willing to take you on after results day. Alternatively, if you've exceeded your firm choice's grades, you can apply for something called adjustment. This is for 5 working days only, and your confirmed place at your firm will not be jeopardized until you confirm a place at another university. However, the university's vacant positions will not come up as it does not have a search tool for this, so you may have to call or email the university yourself. After that's all done, you've confirmed your place, your application is complete, and you have your place at university. So that's the application process in a nutshell. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to like it if you enjoyed it, and leave your comments and suggestions down in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow us on our social media channels, and if you click here or here, you can watch another one of our videos. Click up here to subscribe, and thank you very much.